Bang, bang.
Ok. Is 80 seconds of stun per game, where the next closest was NTS at 66 seconds. In one of his games, he even had a 346-second stun record in one of his really long games versus Tidebound. But the way that they draft, the way that they play their early game, they'll pick this Earthshaker mid, they'll pick this Sand King mid, they'll let him farm his Blink Dagger, and then he's just on that enemy safe lane, creating the stuns with the follow-up damage from crit, and that's 80 seconds of stun per game.
He's so good at tempo controlling, right? It's what they want from him. His heroes play so good for it, and his positioning and spellcasting is just top-notch.
It helps that those heroes that you've highlighted are all kind of very active with little to no economy, right? Like a Sank needs a blink, a Pangolier needs levels. If you shut him down in laning phase, he can still be active and try and fix it, but I think critically for XG, they need to try and stop Malrine opening up the early game.
Happy honeymoon. And of course on stage right now we do have 10 players that really want to claim that Aegis that is on display. But let's take a look at what it actually takes to claim the Aegis.
It is a summit that few have conquered, where the legends of the past have written their own epic stories, where scores of fallen contenders have mourned their shattered dreams. You can give everything and never reach it. But those who triumph here will forge a legacy far greater than fame. 16 teams began this journey in Hamburg. The last two now face off on the ultimate stage. Each is one step from immortality, with one final adversary standing in the way. We gather to bear witness, to honor those who've battled here, to see who will join the ranks of the fallen hopefuls, and who will ascend to the highest tier. The road to victory is always changing. What it takes to be a champion remains the same. Team Falcons versus Extreme Gaming. Grand Finals. Game 1.
Here we go, it has begun. We got Extreme Gaming on the Radiant side, Team Falcons on the Dire side, and the drafting has begun. The strategic part of how these two teams will try to get their first victory on the board in this best of 5. Let's see how the teams have prepared versus each other, and let's see how it differs from the series they played earlier last week. We already have a very nice stylistic change. I do love the respect that XM is getting on his sniper there, Effie.
You really have to respect this hero and its ability to come out during the Grand Finals, because this is his pocket pick. This is his hero that he never loses lane with. And you know what? Just take his lane dominators out of the way, enable Malry, and that's the play that Falcons are going to make here. For Extreme Gaming, they just take out that Sand King. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to try to let it through and beat it, and now they've got first pick. Maybe they could look towards their XXS Earthshaker, but they've got their freedom of choice here, Kazu.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a lot about these heroes that we've seen banned out a lot, right? We have Falcons, like Mars is available for the pool. It's gonna be on the eyes of both teams. And yeah, like you said, I love this ban. You wanna make sure that you stay in the comfort and don't give something to the enemy team that's gonna take you out of your comfort. And XM, on these really nasty and annoying heroes, that's his specialty.
It's the exact same bans that XG did against Falcons the last time that they played, and they first picked Shaker in that position. I'm interested to know if they are to do that. Falcons, they first picked Shaker early in the tournament and got annihilated. So they know how to deal with it, and instead XG, they go for the Mars. Again, we do have two of the most experienced Mars players in the world now in this Grand Finals between XSS and ATF.
I love this Mars pick. You know it's going to be contested in this draft, but they're saying that their offlane player, XX, says he's been owning this entire tournament. Let's first pick his hero. Who cares counters? Who cares how the early game goes? We'll just get him that Blink Dagger, and he will create situations for us.
Then I'd like Falcons to respond straight away, just like the Pangolier. You've already banned the Puck, the Sniper. Against the Arena, you have that Chaos. If XG is going to go for comfort, why not allow Falcons to match the picks with comfort for themselves?
What I love too, when you have two of the best teams playing like their best heroes, it really goes to show you what they value and what they feel like they want to do against you. Like, what do you need to pick with it? What do you need to ban against it? And here's the Pangolier. Really nice call there. You have a super good with the team fight matching. Looks great.
Yeah, both heroes fit in a lot of different strategies, so not giving away too much here either, and maybe even some flex still possible. It's not likely, but it is possible.
It absolutely is possible, and I feel like if you're also going to look at the bans, both of these heroes require a lot of similar things for them, right? You want this follow-up damage into the teamfight, so the Hoodwinks, the Snaps, very likely that Falcons have their eyes on it, same for Extreme Gaming, and if one of them gets banned out, the other gets picked, gonna have to look further down the list.
The question is, do you think XG is going to start trying to enable the Mars by banning out difficult heroes for the Mars to initiate on, or is it more thinking about the wider game? At the moment, they're still going towards taking away the Malrine specialties, right? The Shakers, but something to think about potentially for future picks.
I think they're thinking of the wider game right now, because if you're first picking your offlaner, you're saying that it doesn't matter how the laning stage goes, we just want this hero for us. And on the topic of Snapfire, that has to be the most contested support between these two teams. It's looked great in the hands of Extreme Gaming, they flex it between 4 and 5, and if you give this hero to crit, we've seen him do magic with it.
Especially when it comes to ultra late game, of course.
Yeah.
Which you have to keep in mind, I think.
Okay, so let's see for Falcons. The out of pick phase is very likely for them gonna be this crit type hero that we have talked about, very likely on the Snapfire. If you're Falcons, it would be nice if you can keep the Pangolier open, whether it goes mid or it does go into the offlane. And also with a lot of these mids getting banned out, I would not mind if Marine ends up playing it, but you need to kind of ban for it too, so that Extreme don't like force you to put it into the offlane, because there's a lot of Armari heroes that can be quite good against the Mars, maybe some Underlord, where every time the arenas you gate over, you drop the pipe. If any of these two teams know what a Mars wants, they've got the exact correct players for it.
And it will be a ban to the Troll for the ban, the one ban that Falcons had, and the non-surprising Snapfire. I'm sure that also Extreme Gaming knows that this hero would come out at this stage. They opted to ban out the Beastmaster and the Shaker. No harm in that either. Very strong heroes in the hands of Falcons.
I think Snapfire in particular goes up in value if you see an offlaner very early, because you can see if it's a pipe buyer or not. Mars, this hero does not really buy pipe for his team. That's usually the way that teams will play against early game magic damage. Mars has a different archetype though. He's that Yules into Blink Fire, into BKB, into Refresher, and XG snag up a Hoodwink of their own, the follow-up damage to their Sun.
The question for XG is, do they want to double pick support here and then enable Falcons to kind of know exactly what they're laning into in regards to the support powers?
I mean, it would be, I think it's okay if you pick your 5 here, just because you know that most likely you are up against the Snap. Like, you're either up against Snap X or Snap Pango.
So then like a Bane where you can play most lanes.
I was looking at it too, but it's sadly banned.
Oh, is it? Oh, first phase banned. Yeah, I'm blind. But they go for the Elder Titan.
Yeah,
Nova had an incredible game yesterday with it.
He's been so good on this hero for years. Even in like the prime LGD days, they were very good at always. You have the range carry on Ame, you get the ET on X Nova in the 5. They lane so well together. It's super good with Mars too, right? Mars goes in and he just wants this abundance of AoE spells being thrown into. They've played this combo many times before. Great pick.
They did this exact opening earlier in the playoffs against Nigma, right? If you replace the Hoodwink with Snapfire, that's the opening they have. But even, we've talked about Snap and Hoodwink, it's kind of the same hero for what it does on the map, but it's such a formidable opening. It can pretty much activate any future core picks. It can play any type of game. Like, this is probably the strongest draft opening I think XG could do.
Especially for what it is that they want to do. They want a team fight. They want to out-execute in that mid-game, not based off of their lanes, but based off of how well they spellcast. And they're just going to triple down on the team fight here, I'm sure, with their next few picks. But what they need right now is damage to take advantage of ET's buff. They need that Leshrac-style mid laner that is really going to pump out the DPS.
Honestly, it's going to feel good doing that, because Falcons, they're picking the Enchantress. They're going for that pacing, that early game pressure that enabled them to, put P-Vision to the lower bracket. And now against XG, the same formula could work, right? If you break your lanes, take these early towers, it's not going to be a 4-kill game at 15-20 minutes. XG, they have to respect Falcons are going to play a really strong early game.
Yeah, and most likely from the start, this is usually where they end up taking Skeeter's hero, right? You keep the Pango open between like your 2 and 3, you don't really want to show. Sven is something that they've played before. I mean, it's nice if you can get a BKB hero because you are going up against the Mars, against the Hoodwink, you have the edge. Because Falcons, this is also no surprise to XG, you have seen these heroes before, you know what they're going to do in the early game. But at the top level of Dota, you can show your cards, but if you execute perfectly, it is really hard to play into it. It's also where the troll ban comes in kind of handy. It's good for the Sven. So now for XG, where do you want to go? They've shown us like a Medusa before because Ame, he wants the carry-to-carry matchup. He can have it if he wants to. This is his pick if he wants to have it.
It's the Medusa or the Ursa. That's where I'm leaning. If you want to go for not dying to the burst and the jump, you can go for the Ursa. You then follow up with your Arena. And then the Medusa, like you mentioned, also very, very strong. The only question mark would be Panglid, Diffusal Blade. Is that annoying enough to scare you from picking it? If it isn't, also very, very good.
And this pick for Extreme Gaming is the most important pick in the draft. They have 2 bans afterwards to protect it. And of course it is the other team, it's Falcons, that is getting the overall last pick. So if you want to protect any pick in your draft, this is it. And it will be the Ursa, so that will be Ame's hero for this one.
Yeah, it just gives you that ability to kind of clutch up in the moments. Like a lot of the iconic clips from XG in this tournament have been, pumping in a Lotus or a quick turnaround play, and why not put Ame on a hero that can throw themselves into these vulnerable positions and let the rest of his team shine, and then he'll turn it around.
He gives them like all the follow-up damage that they're looking for, and still it keeps XM open, right? Sure, you have to ban a lot of heroes against this guy. It's one of my favorite guys when it comes to actually XXS, XM, stand-up performance, and you've got to be careful. This guy can absolutely turn the game on its head.
It's a really great pick in terms of also jumping the backline. You have this ET who with the Spirit is going to be able to scout out heroes for you in team fights. You want the ability to instantly connect to them, either with an Arena and just burst them down really quickly. The only issue is Ursa ET on lane, you're going to play against either Snap or Enchantress. It's most likely the Snap, and maybe even a Pango off lane. And in that case, he's going to suffer a little bit. Like, his entry into the game will be slower. Ursa is not renowned for his laning unless he's paired with something like a Disruptor.
So they're banning out the Huskar to respect the fact they need Ursa to get into the game, right?
Yep.
The last time that Amar played Viper competitively was 4 months ago. What stops Amar doing something like this as well? Like, I fully break the lane, my Sven will farm, my Pango goes active, they will win me the game, but as long as I do the breaking of the first 15-20 minutes, like, that's the thinking I'm having, is because if Amar's happy to Huskar, he'll be happy to bring out any other hero to dominate the lane, and there's the Storm Leshrac bans that you mentioned earlier.
I will say that if there is any team that has Viper on their radar always...
Oh, go again, go again!
Oh my god!
One more.
We've got so many legends on there!
Has he got more?
There will be more.
Ooh.
Nice!
Alright. Little hipster.
We gotta fix that one.
Ooh, very late. My guy.
Going back. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Instead, they ban out the Doom
This
again.
map
Very,
must
very
be
stable.
really warm.
Oh, yeah.
Great way to close it out.
It is a great way to close it out, and it is closed out by the Queen Pain on Extreme Gaming. That will be their hero for XM.
This one was a no-brainer pick for XG here. They lacked range damage and the ability to instantly blink in and follow up. Storm gets taken out, Lesh, who builds Blink Dagger, gets taken out. All that's left is for Queen of Pain with the Sonic Wave to give you that added damage. XG are looking to blink in, take the fights quickly, burst them, and then re-engage.
And building on that as well, they also have kiting, right? If they are to blink in and maybe misinitiate, Ursa can disengage, Quap can disengage, ET can assist the fight to ensure that the secondary fight also looks quite good. The layering on XG's lineup ensures that this game is going to have points of pressure any single time.
So you can decide, do you want Pango to go in the mid lane, or do you want Amar to play it on the off lane?
I mean, you can go mid, but you do take quite a beating from the Queen of Pain. It's not your favorite matchup. You could say similar things for the offlane, even though I feel like maybe with the Snap 4, you can like try to offset the lane. So to me, it's more about what they value more. Like, what do they also feel like they need from the game? You have 2 guys that jump in. Like, your draft covers quite a lot. So if you care more about the lanes, you could go for a pretty heavy laning hero here.
They only have 10 seconds to think about what to do with this final pick, and here it is. Oh, it's an Ember Spirit. We don't get to see that man on the main stage that often this weekend.
So they went for this Ember just because they wanted to secure that mid lane matchup versus the Queen of Pain. They want something that can just stay on lane versus it, not get bullied out, and try to match its tempo.
Yeah, not only that, it provides so much vision throughout the game. The lockdown available for XG is quite limited, so if Maurine's going in first, baiting XSS to ever waste a spear or arena, it then activates the rest of his lineup to go in, and then you throw in a Pangolier with the Rolling Thunder as well. Vision and information will be always on the side of Falcons if they're the one going in first.
So if you're playing Hoodwink and ET versus Ember Spirit, who's having a good start and is getting these runes, good luck. Good luck, because you cannot defend yourself against this hero. For Falcons, they have their typical map play style of mid. They're going to have their initiation from the off lane. They're going to have Malrine building these early items and running at people, and the double supports farming the entire map. The question for XG is if they can match that pace in the early game and get to the point where they can blink and instantly take these fights, because that early game looks tough.
Yeah, you got to have a lot of mid focus, right? We've already spoke about Ember and what they can do, but also Queen of Pain, right? If Queen of Pain pops off and every time you go somewhere you're getting a kill, it could buy enough time for the items of the Mars to fix some of their lockdown issues, or the items on the Ursa to ensure he has that burst potential. I think mid lane is such a critical matchup in this game one.
Yeah, I really love these two drafts. Like the way I see it too is that Falcons, they have this early to mid game that they usually have, and then they might taper off a little bit, you know, against Extreme Army. He's got his Ursa against the Sven matchup, but I also like that Falcons, they covered their like late game. The refresher on the Ember, the refresher on the Pango, the 5-slot, the 6-slot. Sven, you know, doesn't do too well there, but then his teammates come in again with the net worth to back it up. So we're in for a long game. We're in for a lot of fights and absolute banger team fighting.
Well, that would be fantastic. I do have one final question to you. You say that this mid matchup super important here with the Queen of Pain and the Ember. How much help are they going to get from the supports? How much help can we expect they get?
Falcons could be tri-laning mid lane. With an Ench and a Snapfire, they're going to be running mid. But XG, they do have the arena. It feels like on their side as well. So they do kind of like a sixth man, and that sometimes historically has helped. And yeah, again, Falcons, the early game, it is looking very, very good.
Okay, let's see. I'm sure that the coach agrees, and that's where we're heading to right now, because Tsunami is standing with AUI 2000.
Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, I am standing by AUI 2000, coach of Falcons, and you are no stranger to this, my friend. In 2022 in Singapore, with Tundra coaching Grand Finals. I was wondering if you could maybe take me back in time about that team's journey to Grand Finals versus how Falcons have made it here.
I mean, honestly, for both teams, it's just been an incredibly rewarding journey. I mean, standing in this crowd, like being able to play in front of them, it's all every Dota player dreams of. So I think we're just all grateful to be here.
Let's hear it for just the spirit of competition. Now, I'm sure you have a very vivid memory of how that last Grand Final went. Upper bracket final, you played against Team Secret. It went to 3 games. They went down to lower bracket, had to play 3 games against Liquid, and how did your Grand Final go after that?
It was good. It was 3-0.
It was good. It was 3-0. Now we're in a similar situation. You went to 3 games against Extreme, and now they're back. Well, actually, no. It was P-Vision, actually. The equation has changed. Everything's up in the air now.
I mean, I would love a 3-0, but honestly, I sort of hope for 5 games, you know? We actually respect Extreme a lot as a team, so we're super happy to play them now.
Then let's hear it for the potential of this Grand Final. Hamburg, make some noise for this Grand Final!
Welcome to the International, everybody! Let's kick this shit off with a bang! It's China striking first blood!
Cannot be more fitting. A return in bounce East versus West will grace the Grand Finals one more time as Ame returns to claim his throne. An uncrowned king against a king already crowned. You could not ask for a better storyline going into this immaculate TI.
That's right. There is so much history that goes into the International. And a large part of that old history, some of you might remember, was that balance of power. It was China versus the world. Every odd year, an international team would win. Every even year, a Chinese team would win. For 7 years, this was true, until Ame and LGD fell to OG at TI8.
History was written, and once more we return to write history in the stars. Can XG make the miracle happen? Can they make this tough road through the lower bracket, return to a finals, a third appearance for some of these players? They have consistently fallen short, but perhaps this is their moment to put their name on that Aegis. They are against a very tough opponent in Falcons. They have been dominating this meta. They have been setting the trends. They have their comfort picks. It's not a question of knowing what they're going to play. It's a question of how do you beat what they play, because everybody knows the heroes that are going to come out from these playmakers. Can you out-team fight them? Can you out-skirmish them? That is the challenge ahead in this series for XG.
Already see XM and Malrine trading blows, as we will see in hopefully 5 games of this series.
Oh yeah.
XM has already taken a bit of a lead here at 10-2, and it seems like all the lanes are going well for Extreme, as another 10-0 for Ame. Seems that, do you feel like Extreme Gaming put a bit more emphasis on the lanes against Falcons?
If anything, I think they did it against P-Vision. They had to learn how to not get run over in some of these lower bracket series. The European team's laning stage is insane. You have to come prepared for it. You cannot give them too much room, too much tempo, particularly when you give up these tempo supports. The Chen, the Enchantress, you can't ban them all. Snaking's going to get something in this game. If Amar is on one of those tempo setters like the Bristleback, for example, these games can spiral very quickly off a laning stage win. XG need to step up their first 10 minutes in this series if they want to have a good chance of competing. But that said, they also made some crazy comebacks.
Yes.
This is a team, you cannot count them out at any point in that game. And this is another lineup that can just scale like a beast across all 3 cores. I like that they went for the first pick Mars. That's a dominance move. We're taking it away from ATF. We're going to get it for XXS early. We don't care if we have to first pick it. We want him comfortable. We want him controlling the fights. And by God, has this man had a TI. He absolutely has to be in the front running for this MVP right now.
100%. I mean, he saved Extreme Gaming's life in that lower bracket final. In fact, in the lower bracket in its entirety, he has come up for Extreme time and time again, and he is a large reason why they are here in this finals. Ame, he's trying to put some pressure onto Amar where he can in this Ursa versus Pango matchup, but the mobility is not allowing him to do so. Amar, 19-2, doing the best of his comrades when it comes to the CS.
And we do see the support swap from Falcons. This Elder Titan's going to be a pivotal hero in this matchup. It's something that XG are going to more and more. It's a crazy teamfight scaler, something to give them confidence in the late game. Downside is it does have some rough lane matchups. Falcons are trying to abuse this Enchantress with the Dispel against X-Nova. Get that lane win in the off lane for Amar. Does require you to put crit into that safe lane. You lose a little comfortability, but you gain really good support matchups here.
Certainly feels like a lot of draft threats on the table no matter who wins in this game, right? If all of a sudden the Elder Titan is kicked to the side and this Enchantress reigns supreme as a support, we've seen how when the games start going late, any support that is able to farm for themselves has big, big value.
And also, we have the 2 biggest support ranged playmakers in this meta, the Hoodwink and the Snap.
Knocked back by the God's Rebuke, will not be able to get a stun off. A second kill for Extreme in this laning phase as they are up now 1,000 gold.
This is such a strong duo. You can't ask for more in this meta right now. Terrifying lane to go up against. And the fact you had to put crit up here to try and get that Enchantress ET matchup does hurt crit a little bit because these Snaps and Hoodwinks want to play with the offlaner. They want to get aggressive. They want to use the early spell power to build momentum. Earn charge is already online for Jin-Q. Super strong right now.
Lots of damage. Jin-Q stepping a bit too far forward, trying to pressure Skeeter, takes a lot of damage. They even threw the blood grenade at him, but they couldn't go for the kill. Well, Amar goes down. They trade out cores. X-Nova, can he beat down Snaking? One more hit, he's got it. A 2-for-1 special, and the action returns at the top lane, as this time it's Crit who puts his life in danger and does not manage to get out of it.
I was maybe a little concerned for XG laning-wise coming into this series, but already they are hitting the mark. This XXS Mars is the most farmed hero coming out of this laning phase. They even get a kill with that Ursa on the Pango, not expected, and so much XP for X-Nova on an amazing hero to get early levels on in this Elder Titan. Already has the boots online, already level 4, putting points into that natural order. You combine this with some of the Queen damage later, the Mars damage later. They have such good teamfight combinations. If you're Falcons, you need to get this Ember off to a good start. Play through him, let him drive the pace of the game. Don't let XG set up these big fights around Roshan where they're super confident in their AoE control.
Fighting for power runes, but locked down by the chains. Got a bushwhack, trying to stop it. Another stun comes in. XM is able to get the blink away, and Jinkyu is the one to pick up the arcane rune instead. A little bit of HP fed over to Malrine. He'll be okay, and XM being the ranged hero should be able to weather through this a bit.
Jinkyu just playing with him. This early Urn creates such a threat with the Blood Grenade combination. He's basically just fighting two supports in the river, taking the rune away from Malrine. That's a huge win. As XM feeling the pressure of some of these summons. Double range creep, plus Enchantress, plus Catapult about to hit your tower. Need reinforcements here.
Yeah, where is this Elder Titan? He's been hanging out with this Ursa, but he's needed in the mid lane. They pop a glyph here, and depending on how much Falcons want to tank here, they have another enchant, so another creep to be able to tank this tower. A few more Siege Wagon hits, and then another round of creeps will enter into the tower. So this Siege Wagon, it's going to get well below half here. The Spirit only just now showing up, but what do you even do as an Elder Titan this early?
Not a lot. Tough matchups. You don't interact well with the Ember Spirit. You don't have the lockdown for him. Just got to beat him back, but that is some significant tower pressure.
Oh, but the trade-off, Ame. He almost gets the kill on Amar, but he also takes the Wisdom Shrine. That is a big move. Extreme. I mean, they drew the first blood quite figuratively and literally as they managed to get the first kill, but also won the laning phase. Falcons with this move on mid was brilliant, but the trade-off, Extreme got to be very happy as their supports are going to get their level 6s before Falcons.
Huge advantage gained off that play from Ame, getting aggressive on that bottom lane. He even forced double support TP there that yielded nothing for Falcons. So now, if you want to get aggressive top with this Mars, no support can come in for Skeeter. If you want to get aggressive on mid, that option's available with the Sonic Wave.
Yeah, like how does Skeeter even play top anymore? It's a level 6 Mars and a level 5 Hoodwink at 8 minutes in. He's got to abandon this lane.
So many levels on these supports.
Power Rune, Malrine tries to get it and does manage to grab it. Regen into the bottle.
Nice pickup for him. I mean, XM not finding early fights with this Sonic Wave. Love to get some action going, but the mobility from this Ember Spirit, just not something that XG can deal with early on in this game.
This tower is going to fall, but who's going to get the last hit on it? Malrine tries to get there in time, but XM already snags the deny. Malrine would love to get a kill on X-Nova, but not the case. Against an Enchantress, this is just inevitable, right? You're going to bleed out towers.
Yes.
You just got to try and slow it down as much as possible.
Especially with the lane swap they did. When this Enchantress plays from the off lane, those moves behind the tier 1s are incredibly dangerous, and they're a lot more fluid for Sneyking to make than if he was stuck in that safe lane trying to secure farm for the Sven.
Sneyking
control
did not make the read there. That a ward was placed on that high ground. He gets his own really good laning ward, though.
Ame hunting him here in the jungle. He's got his eyes on him.
You got to punish this Enchantress. You can't just let Sneyking live in your jungle. He will do that until you punish him. Thinking about the Sonic Wave, is it required? XM, they can't even get him.
Nice enchant for the Dispel and the Overpower. Ame trying to hold it, Sneyking holds longer.
And of course, anybody who shows up in the top lane is going to die. It's just a matter of time. Crit's not dead yet. And now with the Ember Spirit here, looks like the Mars is in big trouble, and Jinkyu is not able to chase after Crit. It's going to be XXS to fall instead as Falcons bring 4 up the top. They do not want to be losing these early towers.
That was a big committal. I mean, you're showing all 3 cores on this top lane to bring down that Mars, who was having a fantastic time. That's a big kill. But it does give a lot of space to the Ursa, more space for XM on the mid. Got to look towards this 10-minute power rune. If he can grab it here, it would be a huge win for XG. Malrine looking for an amp damage or a haste to accelerate his game.
Once again, Malrine going to try and outclick XM for it, but this time XM gets the bottle. With a haste rune, not required to pop it just yet. He's able to blink away.
Big rune to take away from that Ember.
Yeah.
Right, that is super dangerous around the map. Still
I mean, it's also
no Sonic Wave thrown in this game.
Yeah, we got to start establishing our own threats from the mid lane if you're Extreme Gaming. You're looking around where the Sonic Wave has been off cooldown for like 4 minutes now. We just haven't put it to use.
It's easily a move he can make to top, right? If you have this arena on top, anybody that shows there, just arena them into the Sonic Wave. Even if reinforcements come in, that can be a great fight. You can connect through the gate. It's kind of your best point of attack right now. You can also continue to hold it here and use it defensively. If you want Ame to continue playing bottom against some of the threat that the Pango holds, the Queen can counterplay that a little bit.
Crit playing games with XXS and Jinkyu once again, but this time around Extreme bring a whole lot more heroes to the mix. Falcons decline to do the same. They'll give up the tower finally and make a trade-off of their own.
A lot of trades happening in this game, but man, Crit has suffered in this early game. Losing the Wisdom Shrines really hurt him because he had to play more sacrificial in that safe lane to give Sven some of that XP. This Snapfire's level 4.5 right now. I don't know when you're going to have kisses in this game, but it's not going to be for a while. And to me, this has been the spell that's defined this hero at this TI. You know, heroes come and change, the spells come and change, but right now, getting kisses online fast, taking fights around that ult, super powerful long-range damage. We've seen it just win team fights straight up. We saw what Jin-Q did with it in the previous series. The more this is delayed, the better the team fights look for XG, particularly around that Roche pit, if Ame gets off to a fast start. Mallory just playing with her mid, looking for that 12-minute power rune.
XM challenges him again. The stomp, it lands. Good bushwhack, the turnaround, and there's the Sonic Wave, but it wasn't even required. Jin-Q had it well in hand. That bushwhack combined with the sharpshooter, well played.
And Skeeter's here looking for the fight. There's nothing to fight. He'll just pick up the rune and go back to the jungle. Huge kill in this Ember Sphere. That's the hero you want to get the fast Mage Slayer on that Falcons can snowball through. Every time you take him off the map, you buy so much time for your other cores.
Yeah, and Skeeter, he will have the luxury of stacks where you can see it. Extreme do not have that same luxury. 9 more stacks than Extreme have done. I mean, when you have that kind of imbalance, Extreme have to get aggressive, right? There's no other option.
Start stacking of your own, claim early Roshans, or start taking some more team fights. The interesting part about this game is you won the Wisdom Shrine battle, but Falcons are ahead in XP. Because Skeeter just got so much more out of this jungle. This Sven is level 11. He's a couple levels ahead of the nearest core. So their supports are behind, but their cores are ahead. And these are cores that can absolutely just win the fight, even if the supports are lacking some net worth.
Hey, I'm just happy we get to see 2 cores that do not build Helmadam.
Oh, there's not going to be a single helm in this game.
Bless. Another Wisdom Shrine is coming up in 40 seconds. Crowd happy as they've been all day.
The helm meta died somewhere in the lower bracket, it would seem, as these teams just want to duke it out. Malrine still looking for that Mage Slayer, but very strong on the front line as long as he doesn't get bushwhacked into the burst damage.
Tried to get the slight chains, but let's face it, diving into the tier 2, that is a risk a bit too much for Falcons. And this smoke seems to have petered out.
And items flying in for XG right now. They dodge that fight, they get Blade Mail on the Quap, they get Yules on the Mars. Early fighting items now online. 14-minute Wisdom Shrines are spawning. Looks like they're just going to get it traded out here unless X-Nova wants to try something really sneaky down there.
Yeah, this will make it so that Malrine can't be nearly as aggressive, right? There was very little punish outside of a sick bushwhack that we saw, but now he's going to be running into potentially a Mars who just Yules Arena Spears. Easy.
Super deadly on the front line. A lot of threat coming out from XXS right now. Downside is you don't have the reach of something like the Blink Dagger, so it's a little harder to just make an aggressive smoke play with confidence. But if you get the right angle, you just run into heroes, phase boots into the Yules, it'll do the job, and yeah, that ward scouted that out.
That first move with this Yules, it's going to be red, smoked right underneath a laning ward.
Upside is if you just go to the tier 1, you might just be able to pummel this tower and get something out of this move regardless. The Falcons don't want to give up this tier 1 for free.
Sure, and maybe find the sacrificial support position.
Yep.
Here comes that play. Even had the scan on the mid lane right next to XM to see who was next to him.
Ob's placed right under Sentry up top.
You're going to try for it. Rolling Thunder. Amar. The chains, but he doesn't pull the trigger just yet. I mean, if the tower's not going to fall, there's really no need.
That's not a fight you want to force into this amp damage Ember. Not the timing to do it, especially when Ursa's just not going to join the fight. Battle Fury was just finished for Ame a minute ago. He's cruising in the farm department. He's having a great time. No pressure on him right now. Recovering his disadvantage against the Sven, who had all of those ancient stacks earlier. Does not want to be dragged into a bad engagement for a tier 1.
Falcons make a show of a 5-man defense in the mid lane. After the tower's defended, back to hitting neutrals. They really haven't ground out that usual lead that Falcons tends to do after a laning phase. Extreme is still keeping up despite the stack disparity.
Difficult team to grind it out against.
Why is that?
they're just resilient around the map. They rarely give up really bad core deaths. I mean, the games that are spiraling are going to spiral for anybody, but I feel like they just don't feed in poor places. It's usually getting lanes super deep. X-Nova, he's...
Okay, the Croaker. Yeah, Snaking had that well in control. There was no problem there whatsoever.
That's that Mage Slayer online for the Ember, so time to get aggressive. Follow Malrine, let him bring these supports back into the game in a really nice position. Look,
Malrine does find another one. Slight chains, kisses. And XXS is biding his time, waiting for Malrine to show, but the kisses give too much information. They have to back away.
Too easy right now. Just follow this Ember. Very little XG can do about it unless they are just baiting someone out and going and using.
Yeah, as you said, the core's not being picked off, but they do manage to find some support kills.
XG don't mind this kind of style though. Like, they're willing to give up some part of the map early on in a game to push it later, get their item timings, and take that fight. Even if it's at a 5 or 6K net worth disadvantage, they believe in their execution. They believe in their timing. They're going to overcome that, particularly around the Roche bit. We have seen this team dominate Roshan fights. To me, it's been their signature sauce for this event.
I was about to say, if anything's going to give them even more confidence, is going to be that lower bracket finals, game 3. Yeah. They played against a net worth advantage the entire time, and still had the confidence that they were going to be able to pull through, and they sure did.
I mean, at this point, just believe XXS is going to win you the Roshan fight because he's done it time and time again.
Yeah, just give up every Roche. Just make sure XXS is in a position to make the steal.
And there's the Blink Dagger for the Mars. He was thinking about BKB or Blink, but he opts for the Blink. Tells me XG want to get aggressive here in the next few minutes. If you can get a team fight on top of Falcons with you being the initiator, particularly on that Pangolier or Ember, it can break that fight open, especially if it's around the pit, straight into Roshan for this Ursa. This is a really pivotal moment in this game for Falcons to defend their map.
Baiting an 18-minute power rune that doesn't spawn. Amar makes a poke at XM and reveals that there is a whole heap of heroes right behind him.
Blinks are also online for Falcons. Pango Blink, Sven Blink, Instant Smoke. Falcons are going to look to do what XG just wanted to.
XXS is thinking about striking first, though, and he managed to get the pin. No Yules required. They just blew him up, and the Rolling Thunder will come too late to save the Ember Spirit. But maybe Skeeter, you can see him. He's holding off right now, waiting for his initiation. When's he going to make his blink? They got the arena onto the 2 supports. Now he jumps in right after the Mars. He went in for the off laner, but now he's surrounded by heroes, and he'll be blown up by Ame. Ame, too, was patient, and he waited for his counterpart in Falcons. He waited for Skeeter.
Beautiful patience from Ame on the side of the fight. He waits for the Sven jump, jumps in with ult. No chance to man fight him this early in the game. And he will clean house. The exact team fight XG we're looking for. Started a little differently for them, but a beautiful pin from XXS. You burst down the Ember. That's what you want. Ember or Pango every single time. It's a recipe for success.
And he could have gone for the safe play of the Yules, but it would have been an entirely different fight. The execution was fast, and that's what kept Falcons out of it.
He gets to hold arena for later on, and that's what's kind of dissuading Skeeter here. Like, he doesn't want to jump this Hoodwink who's already dying. He doesn't want to jump that Blade Mail Quap. He wants the Mars. He got sick cleaves off him. Almost kills XM with that angle. But Ame, just better positioning, better moment to jump.
I mean, it all starts with the Ember Spirit pickup, right? He can play the longer game because they're up a man in that regard. 100%. Skeeter forced to do something. XM trying to force a play here.
Stomp misses.
It covers at least the retreat from XM. Falcons go back to their side of the jungle. Despite the loss in that mid lane, not that big of a net worth lead for Extreme. We're still keeping this game very tight at 20 minutes, though. Extreme, they want the Tormentor. They're going to smoke up for it. Falcons will do the same, not to smoke, but trying to defend their territory.
Look at the Basher. Freshly done on Ame. He got it off that fight. Could be super pivotal at locking down these mobile cores here.
Smoke breaks on XXS. XXS not going to blink forward. Doesn't want to go in blind. Now spawns Snaking, and he'll just pin him. See if they can blow him up with the break. It'll make it a little bit easier, but the heals, man. They can't even burst him down. They just used so many spells and didn't claim the 5 position. They will back out. A good stomp, though, and a pin off of it. They're going to jump in. Ame goes for the kill, and they got him. Amar does what he can, but again, the Rolling Thunder is just not enough to save the life of his buddy. He's got the Yules to defend. XXS trying to stop these kisses. A blink away, and he does manage to prevent any losses there. Falcons, they'll retreat as 4, and Extreme now own the Tormentor.
Such strong early item timings from XG, and XXS finding the spears time and time again. Just sets everything up in this fight. Maureen has not been able to play a single fight other than him just getting nuked down instantly.
Yeah.
And all of that was off of a casual stomp from X-Nova. That's how this Elder Titan gets you. He can throw the spirit out, he can wait for a slight, and then he's going to force you to remnant out or you get stomped, and you don't know what's coming after that stomp. Very little to bail you out of that situation. It's an annoying spell for Maureen to just be sitting under in the middle of the fight. I mean, Amar's the most farmed hero here for Falcons. He's having quite a good game. Just can't find his mark in these engagements.
Ame's not alone down here, but Falcons know it, thanks to the deep wards that they were able to place earlier in the game. Has not allowed them to take control of the match. Going back to the Ember Spirit, though, this is a hero that we haven't actually seen too much of here at TI. Why is that?
I think his early game is still good, but he kind of falls off in that mid game a little bit. He doesn't pack the same punch, and I think players are concerned about his ultra late game scaling sometimes too. Like, yeah, 6 or 7 slots, all these spirit heroes are crazy, but you compare it to things like the Queen of Pain with the sonic wave damage. It's just not the same punch, right? He's kind of an attrition hero. He likes to go in the fight, take the long fight. It feels like a lot of these fights are just decided off a jump. You throw in the nukes, you blow somebody up. It's not Ember Spirit style right now. And now his strength can be just set up for some of these long-range supports. Great hero to combine with the Hoodwinks and the Snapfires that are in this meta. And I think that's what Falcons wanted to do. They just got slowed down.
Yeah, particularly since they don't actually have a save here on the side of Extreme. There was potential for Slight Chains Kisses to get guaranteed kills, but we didn't see too many of those, and not really on big consequential heroes. And as a result, Ame is up at 13K now.
It's also a hero that takes that mid tower very quickly, and then you kind of collapse the game to that mid lane. You make them fight your Ember when he's really strong. You make their supports engage this hero that they have trouble locking down. I think XG dodged that pretty well. Falcons didn't get a lot out of that, 5 to 15 minute mark as they wanted to, especially with some of the power runes going to Maureen.
Sure, they gave up the mid tower. They didn't actually fight for it. They even denied it themselves, limiting the amount of gold that Falcons got out of it.
They didn't bleed bad kills, which would have snowballed this game, and they won the side lanes. That was a huge component. XXS got off to such a fast start. You could afford to give up something around that mid lane and still feel good about the first 10 minutes here. And now you're cruising into this mid game very even. Still anybody's to take in these fights, and I mean, Roshan's still just sitting there in the pit. Very tempting for both teams.
Absolutely.
And we even see the X-Nova Spirit scouting it out. I mean, there is some worry here on XG for Falcons to man up for it if they feel you're on the wrong part of the map.
We are now at that point, by the way, where we're going to get some serious magic resistance problems for Falcons. If Amar is going to build to scale, these supports on the side of Extreme, you've got the combination of maxed out natural order combined with the deconstruction facet. That's already making a lot of this magic damage be pure. And then you're going to have Hoodwink come in. He's buying up a shard really soon. That boomerang is just going to amp up that magic damage even more. The burst damage is going to go crazy.
If you get a latch off this Mars, that hero is just gone. No hard save in this lineup. At least you have some armor differential from the Sven. You have the shield on the Ember. You have a shield on Pango. You can be tanky in these fights, Enchantress with the sprites. But you are worried about that first point of contact.
Yeah, which means Falcons, I mean, they've been struggling to find the initiation. That's what's been causing them so many issues in these early fights. It always seems like XXS is able to hit first before Amar does. So they either got to find that or they got to start just, playing to farm, playing to scale.
They have BKB Blink on the Sven now, though. This changes it a lot. Now you can let Skeeter go in. He can pick his mark, BKB. You're not afraid of him dying super fast here. And he has level 3 ulti online. He's hitting a really nice power point. Falcons want to use it.
And if they can get a pick off right now with this smoke, then turn it into Roshan, take that away from an Ursa lineup, would be a massive boon for Falcons. They do not find the kill, though, as Extreme Gaming have already backed up behind their Tier 2, commence with their own smoke play.
They feel that Roche was maybe being forced. They're smoking before Ame finishes his BKB, though they did get the Ags on the Queen and the BKB on the Mars, so they have a nice 2-core item timing to try and take this fight.
They're going to get in position here, but Ame's still going to keep farming up. He's so close to his BKB. I'm sure he's calling to his team, don't force it too much. I'm almost there.
Almost a defensive Roche play. We don't want to do it right now. We want to let Ame farm, but we also don't want you doing it.
Yeah. And if they just stick around, though, okay, they do find one of the wards. There was 2 different very dangerous wards that Falcons managed to get down. That was one in the triangle, the other one being in that lane, off-lane position. Nobody on Extreme will be caught by that yet.
I mean, these are the types of situations where the ET feels amazing because
This would be really massive if they can catch him, but there's a same similar ward. Still, though, found by Falcons, at least taking away some vision on both sides. It all comes down to this Roche, man, and we're going to have BKB cores on both sides.
Xnova, he wants it.
They get the kill on the ward. Amar does not make the jump for it. Skeeter's too far away. Skeeter's just farming away. He doesn't want to fall behind Ame right now in this standoff. Neither carry wants to just fully invest into contesting this Roshan.
But Ame got to finish BKB. They got the double obs without anybody getting punished on that. That's a huge win for XG. That was a big smoke move from Falcons to get those wards up and try and use them to take a fight. You let them go down for free. You have one more around this pit top.
And if Falcons isn't going to make the move, then Extreme, maybe they'll be the ones to play on the offensive here. The smoke is going to break on the low ground. Snake King making a break for it with his drums, trying to get far enough ahead. XXS, he'll blow the arena for him. Nice Yules, though. That'll dodge a little bit, still hit. Caught by the break, but the heals are so much, they do not still have the burst damage to kill him. They need the Ursa to jump on to Snake King, but he doesn't want to show himself. Synchronized Yulesing for Extreme Gaming. They'll back away.
They might lose their last ward up here. XXS, they gave him the Ob Sentry. Very smart. Don't sacrifice your positioning on these backline supports.
Extreme Gaming seem to know Falcons' ward spots very well.
They have no obs left. This is brutal for them.
An Aghanim Scepter is done for Amar, though, so another peak for Falcons, perhaps another chance to take matters into their own hands.
The team fight's super strong for both teams. It's just about who jumps first, and that's why the vision's so important. You lost all these wards, whereas XG, they have that ET to do a little scouting.
I mean, at this rate, we're going to get 2 or 3 more items on these carries before we actually get a fight around the Roshan pit.
Nobody wants to man up for it first. You get caught in that pit, it's absolute destruction.
Malrine found. Not pinned. Roll up will stop him, and he dodged away from the stomp. XXS has to use a defensive BKB. Double ults from Falcons for a BKB on XXS. I don't think that gives a clear enough advantage either way for these teams to force it.
Nope. Especially if the Mars gets gone on, you don't have a clear initiation as XG. They do buy a gem, which is interesting considering they just killed 3 wards. I mean, how much vision's left on the map? They really want to secure vision for the fight. Flying out to Xnova right now. But Falcons are getting a lot of items up during this period. Almost level 20 on those then. This Ember is catching up in this game. I mean, that's the upside for Malrine. He's on the best split pusher hero in this match. He's just going to rat these side lanes down. He will recover his GPM. Continue to scale.
And that's why Extreme, they're going to force it onto the bit. And it feels like they just have to. Snake King is trying to keep tabs, though. He's got his creep, checking it out every once in a while. But this Roshan is about to swap over to the other side. Not only does it sound like you think that Falcons have gotten the better of this stalemate, but it's also about to flip over to a side where they can play off of buybacks in their outpost.
I don't think the first half of that stalemate was good for them, but I think the second half was. I think XG could have been more aggressive there with how much vision they brought down. Falcons playing a little scared. But now, like you said, that Roche going to the other side, it hurts. Especially if Falcons are willing to commit buybacks here, and you just can't man up for this as Ame. It's way too terrifying.
It's also going to be another Tormentor spawn. He didn't spot the ward. XXS saw a sentry, but the ward is on the other side of the tree there.
It's a good one. Super valuable as this Roche switches sides.
And while Extreme have all shuttled down to this bottom part of the map, Falcons, they're staying split. Amar's getting a lot of farm out of his top lane. He might actually be able to take that tower at some point in time. As you said, Malrine, best split pusher in the game at this point on the Ember Spirit, so he's enjoying all the farm he's getting out of this situation. It's not much, but Falcons is grinding more and more gold into their favor. Extreme Gaming, they got to do something about this. They're going to force the Roshan, and Falcons not going to contest. Almost saying that, all right, we delayed it for like 6 minutes, you can finally have it.
It is only the first one, right? Not super valuable here. It's just to progress towards the later Roshans.
Yeah, second Roche is going to be around 41 minutes in.
Very slow for an Ursa lineup.
Yeah.
Still have this tier 1 up mid for Falcons, by the way. This objective has not been claimed by XG either. They're working with less map control right now, which is great for Malrine. It means he gets to push these side lanes in deep, gets a lot of vision control off the mid lane to help him do it. He's enjoying life right now.
And a quick Tormentor kill for Falcons. With Extreme stuck on the other side of the map. Particularly Xnova, who is always just shadowing Ame everywhere he goes. He's really not able to do anything else.
And I must apologize, Austin. We do have one Helma Dominator. It snuck its way in. I don't know how we allowed it. I guess Jinkyu said this game is going to go late. I'm going to start farming up and pushing some waves. I mean,
Helma Dom Hoodwink? Are you serious, man?
This was probably the least expected one here. You know, you could argue it for the Mars. A lot of these offlaners just wanted to accelerate their game and have the Helm on the lane. But a second item Hoodwink Dominator. I don't think I've ever seen that.
You know what I hate the most is that it just kind of makes sense the way that they're likely to be ratted a bit. Somebody's got to get one on Extreme. An Aghanim Scepter done for Malrine.
Yeah, he's recovered completely.
Level 18 as well. He's getting real big. Considering how bad his game was, where he just kept getting caught by XXS over and over again. This last 10 minutes, this peaceful 10 minutes, feels like he's actually going to be able to play some Dota. He's going to be able to get to some late game. Now we'll see how well he scales into that point compared to the Queen of the Pain, who's currently XM just about to finish up BKB. That is an aggressive blink. He got a Yules off though on the Sven. That delay will not be enough. Too much burst damage coming in from the side. Oh! Third splitter stops Skeeter. Does Extreme realize this? They certainly do. A BKB, keep him inside the arena. The Skeeter, he's stuck. Ame will come collect the kill that his team served up on a platter, all because of Xnova. His far sight, he saw it coming the entire way, an Earth Splitter to catch the Sven TP.
Into another D-Ward. This man is absolutely on point right now for XG. And they will take that trade. Taking this Sven off the map will create a larger differential between him and Ame. That's exactly what you want. This Sven-Ursa matchup is generally not fun for the Sven. The farther this Ursa pulls ahead, the harder it is to take that fight, unless you can go ultra late with refreshers and satanics and that kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
Ame in control of the carry battle right now. Huge pickup for XG. I mean, that was a crazy blink from XM. He just felt like there was going to be an opening there. I guess he's right in the end. Very sacrificial.
And if he doesn't get the Yules off on the Sven, like even though he dies, that little bit of delay, it made all the difference for Xnova to get there in time.
Very clutch Yules. And these Yules can become Wind Wakers way later in this game.
Yeah, sure.
That's the nice thing about them, and the Wind Waker is amazing against this Falcons lineup.
Still a bit worried though, even though the Sven has died. We've seen, in particular, yesterday we saw the Ame Sven. 2,500 damage crits. I mean, you can get Wind Wakers, but can you react fast enough to stop that kind of burst damage? Snaking, is this guy just untouchable in this game? What is it? They can kill the Sven, but they can't stop the Enchantress.
I mean, it is called untouchable for a reason.
I guess so.
You should not even waste your time. If Ame's there, it's a quick pick-me-up, right?
Of course, yeah.
But Ame doesn't want to commit his time to take Enchantress off the map. If anything, you just want to threaten Snaking. You know, make him think he can die, so he doesn't push as aggressively. But don't commit so much to actually kill him, and it's a negative net worth play. Okay.
BKB done for XM. So the next time he aggressively blinks in, he can at least ignore the stuns. We'll see if he can ignore the damage. Ame with an Abyssal Blade, no! Does not get the follow-up bash required for the kill. And he'll try and make use of the last 25 seconds of this Aegis. I thought he was going to just push the tier 2. But Extreme content with the pace of the game as it is.
No,
they're going to smoke to the other side. Never mind. They're going to go. They're baiting out XM right now.
They want blood right now. Aegis is going to expire, but they finished that Abyssal. They finished Hex on the Mars and the BKB on the Queen. Huge item timing for XG. They're looking to strike. I mean, this has kind of been the MO of this game. Both teams hit their item timings. They look for a play. But the other team recognizes it, and they dodge that moment until they get to theirs. At some point, that bounce will break here.
Well, now some of that magic amp that we were talking about is still going to be effective, but there is a pipe.
Huge item
on Snake King. Big
Huge
pickup for him.
Yeah, the aura is worth so much here.
And this is kind of a weird positioning. We swap places. And it's going to be Extreme breaking the smoke, going into their own jungle. Wait, got the device initiation onto the Pango, and the Earth Splitter's on top of it with so much magic damage. He is burst down.
Shard stomp in with the boomerang. See you later. No one is surviving that play. And that is all a glimpse of him off of that ET Spirit vision.
Yeah.
That's all it takes for you to get insta jump from the Hex.
But what do you do with this pickoff?
What do Falcons try and do here? They're looking on this ward. They have Daedalus on Skeeter.
XXS still has BKB, but they got the sun on him, and from behind, a big crit from Skeeter takes out XXS. The Sonic Wave on 3, Yule's up in the air for crit. Skeeter makes a run for it with his BKB, but XM will still pounce on both supports, trying to slow them down, hoping that they can at least get one of them here. Snake King pulled back in, and finally Ame shows up to the fight to claim Snake King's head. They'll get one out of this.
Nice pickoff for Falcons. They get this Mars off the map. They do pay a little bit of a price. But once Ame shows up to that fight, you're not taking it unless Skeeter is confident that the control is going to come through.
Yeah, considering that BKBs didn't have to be used for Extreme, this is a very deadly point. No Pango, everything up for Extreme. Being able to take the Mars off the bat, like you said, like there's not really that much initiation for Extreme if there is no Mars.
They did get another D ward off that, though. Falcons are losing a lot of wards to make these plays. It's really adding up.
You combine lack of vision with the Elder Titan, the vision advantage that Elder Titan's going to give you. It causes some problems, but those problems, they can at least wait another minute or two, because really there's no objectives until Roshan is up. They want to take this tier 2. I'm sure Falcons wouldn't care that much about it. Ame tries to go fishing with this Haster and see if he can find some hero up here farming up jungle.
I mean, this Hoodwink Dom has done some work. Jinq mega farm now. Finished an entire Lincoln Sphere. I wouldn't say it's the best Lincoln Sphere game. Not really good against the Pango Ember here.
Yeah, you're stopping the Sven stun.
That is it. You are trying to throw this on Ame or XM, maybe even XXS, who's been getting jumped a lot. If you block that Sven stun, could be a huge deal in the fight. But it's a very expensive investment to look just for that.
Yeah. I mean, there's maybe little things like blocking out a Yule's during an enrage timing for an Ursa or something like that. It could go a long ways.
Could come into play, absolutely.
Level 25s are right around the corner for both of our carries. That's going to be a bit spooky as Roshan. We're in that potential spawn period. Both teams are going to be playing around this area.
High
top part of
damage
the pit.
talents for both of these carries. Like the burst damage just becomes insane. To me, if the fight goes long, this Queen could be a big problem for Falcons. In theory, their answer to a long fight is, Pango Ember, bringing that same sort of attrition, just constant spell spam.
Yeah.
But the way the fights have been going is, it feels like one of those cores just gets bursted. I think you still want to jump this Sven in to almost give them better entry into the fight.
If you get to a Satanic and then Ember Spirit continues to scale, do you think that flips to the other side at some point? That longer fights can still work for Falcons because the Ember mostly?
Oh, I think they can. It's just execution.
Sure.
You kite out those little moments. Can you dodge the jump from Ame? Does someone control him when he's trying to go in and burst that target while he's committing BKB? Small things like this make all the difference. Can you find supports at the start of the engagement? You take X-Nova out, you remove a lot of the amp damage in this lineup.
Falcons not to find anything. A pickoff there could have led to control the Roshan pit. A swift blink Ame Ursa.
He's so farmed. All he needs is that level 25. He's prepared for this next fight. 50 seconds for that Roche spawn. Pretty fast one. Falcons just trying to control the vision they have. They have this one ward towards mid. They have a gem up. Trying to hold this high ground. There's a sneaky Radiant ward behind this tree line over here too. Could be really pivotal if you scout someone in the river.
Oh, yeah.
Not an easy obs to D-ward. XG just wait. They're playing patient right now. Trying to finish up the last few items to go into this next Roshan battle. It's going to be A on disc for XM. Something to watch out for. He gets jumped by the Sven, he assembles that disc. The jump is gone.
And you pretty much can't afford a bad jump for this Sven, right? It almost feels like the fight is over if he jumps the wrong person and can't kill them.
Or if he jumps, stuns, goes to hit, Ame jumps, abyssals him. That's an easy turnaround.
Sure.
Actually, you're going to throw out the Sonic Waves. Arena's going to hit someone in the back. Skeeter going in here is very difficult, but he almost has to, the way the lineup functions.
Has to pick and choose his battles, and he's going to go for XM, but I think they know about the Aeon Disc. They have not jumped after this initiation from Amar. What a read from Falcons, but XM holds off on putting the Aeon Disc together. They'll TP away on the Rolling Thunder. They tried to get something. That was just such a smart play on both sides. XM, I mean, the balls did not put that Aeon Disc together when you're being sent up by Rolling Thunder, knowing there could just be a Sven that one-shots you. But he refuses to do it.
He knows Ame has his back on that counterplay. He knows if Skeeter jumps, he will pay a big price there.
And they have damage for his Sven. Maybe they get the Roshan. But Falcons, I think they still want to force this fight. They're going to try it. Malray, he just throws straight in. Decide the vice on him. Here comes that spear. But the Sven with the amp damage, where is he? He isn't able to get there in time, and now he's been hit by the ults. He gets grabbed onto the Queen of Pain. XM gets on the Aeon Disc! Keeps himself alive, and he blinks away from Skeeter. The initiation has gone all wrong, and now begins the fight. It doesn't fight for long. Ame and his claws will rip through the Sven armor. They'll find another with XXS, a pin against the wall, and Amar, he'll fall as well.
Beautiful kiting from XG. The control on the Sven, stalling up his jump to follow that Ember Spirit. And such clutch hexes from XXS. This guy's control has been on point this entire tournament. Such a strong team fight from XG. Their burst damage is just insane. Malring, he took so much there, but that ET amps it all up. You get hit by that Earth Splitter, one last bash from the Ursa, and you're gone. Nobody to bail you out of that situation. A deep dive goes wrong for him.
And if Extreme win this game one, I mean, what are you gonna do if you're the coach? What are you gonna do if you're the drafter? AUI 2000. Amar, he doesn't want to ban Mars. That's his hero.
You gotta take it away from him.
Yeah, you're gonna be put in that corner where you have to take it. And we may see if Extreme have answers to it, but first they have to close out this game one to make that happen. And they may have a big lead. 9,000 net worth, 3.5 minutes left on the Aegis. Falcons are known to be able to stall out games. XXS, he's landed a number of initiations. They'll find another one. Ame leads the way with the Abyssal Blade, and XXS follows through. Another 60 seconds where Falcons will not have all their heroes alive.
So much gold for XG in this period. I mean, they can start buying up some luxury items now. There's the refresher for the Mars. Could be another hex on this Hoodwink. Malring's life is just not getting any easier. It didn't start easy in this game, and it doesn't feel like it's getting any better. It's just so much control for him to play through, and this is kind of the downside of Ember. He doesn't pack a big enough punch to go in and be a threat during his BKB that XG can't deal with it. So you have to play for the long fight. Yeah, somebody is getting caught in the control, and nobody is challenging this Ame Ursa right now. He is just running a rampage through this game. Ag's done as well. How do you kill this guy? Feels impossible.
Kinda does. I mean, you're gonna have to wait 2.5 minutes because killing him is gonna take some sort of initiation, and I don't think they'll be able to pull that off twice. I mean, they have like no instant stuns. The best you have is Sven, Blink, melee range, Stormhammer.
But he has
Rolling
Ags.
Thunder, Blink initiation, but
you cannot jump him anymore. It's impossible. He will always get Ags and Rage off. You have no silences to prevent it.
Yep.
Like you said, 2 minutes on this Aegis. XG, they can force high ground again. They can look for that game-ending fight.
So their only option as Falcons is to make the jump on the Ursa, reset, and high ground defense is the best possible place to make a play like that, right?
Yep, especially if you can abuse buybacks. It's one way to try and force that teamfight win. They do not have a lot available right now. It's only that Ember Spirit. Sometimes it's enough with the high ground positioning. Ideally, you make a jump on somebody, you take them down, you reset, and then This Pango can control Ursa a little bit with the Basher. The Axe rolls going through. It's kind of your hope right now that ATF has a monster team fight on this high ground.
Well, you said luxury items were coming in. They're here for a couple more heroes. XM with the Shivas. The Sight Device on the Hoodwink, which is not required for yet another Enchantress kill. No problems killing her now that Ame is playing in the front line. Skeeter's going to make his jump. Gets off the in-range on Ame. Skeeter got that much out of him. But you got that. But you still want to be able to play with the on-gun strike, but they jump in anyway. Skeeter, he wanted to fight, but he didn't think it was going to start that way with him dead and gone. And what are you going to do now? It's up to Maureen and Amar. They're going to have to pull through this fight for you. You buy back on the Sven, but he won't have the God Strength. They're kiting around Ame as best as possible right now. XM, Yules, he dodged out the Stormhammer, and he's going to have a blink up in a second. He still has his BKB. A nice pin from the low ground from XXS. A buyback's being used from Falcons from all these heroes, but they've got nothing for it. They killed a Hoodwink at best. They took out Roadkill, and that's all.
You have to get more there for a triple buyback. The Sven one is not going to be the most impactful, but you bought both supports. You took an extended fight. For once, Maureen does survive the Hex burst attempt, gets BKB off, has some impact, 3,000 damage, but you can't burst any of these targets down. You can't wear through the front line here. Bear is just too much of a menace right now. You need more sustain, you need more damage. There's another great shard for XG to pick up. I don't think I've seen a spear miss outside of maybe the one top on that open arena. Just hit every single one. There's another Aeon disc for this Sven to deal with. No nullifier in sight.
Level 25 on XXS, 180 HP regen inside the Arena of Blood. But if they can take him out of the equation right away, no, an Aeon disc! Where is he going to throw out this arena? He's waiting out the BKBs. He knows Skeeter's going to expire soon, and now he's got it. First the sight, then the spear, then the damage that Ame brings to the table.
A dieback on the Sven. Falcons crumbling. No answer for Ame and his jump.
XXS doing his best, even an Outworld staff there. Double daggers to slow him down. Ame still finding more. He first catches Snaking. No buybacks there. He chases after Crit. Another hero to fall on the side of Falcons. Double cookies where they can. And they're chasing after the Ember Spirit on the same side.
Supports are just killing him.
Supports taking out the Ember Spirit.
X-Nova Boss just man-fighting the Falcons mid. Back up from Jinkyu. That's a free kill. Maureen did not expect the damage, but there's that magic amp combination. It's just so nasty when he's on top of you. Now Ame, he gets a free trip to the high ground. Says, thanks for the setup, boys. All clean house.
Amar broke through. He's sitting on the other side of the map going, I can't cut all these waves. Extreme Gaming, they're going to get Megas out of this. They should be able to end the game. Unless Falcons... I don't even know what they have to do here. Amar, they do manage to get backdoor protection up, but the mid lane is going to push in. XM's got that covered. Unless Amar can get there with the Rolling Thunder. He's not popping in. He's trying with the swashbuckle. It's stopped by XM. Now he has the Rolling Thunder. See if he can kill the creep wave. They pop the Glyph. They pop the Sonic Wave even. Anything to protect the creeps. Amar still gets it though, and he makes the blink away. He makes a swift retreat. Did he just buy Falcons the time they needed?
Backdoor should come up here.
Glyph goes up.
This will guarantee it. Amar with some nice moves on this mid lane. Stalls for the other heroes to come back up.
Can Extreme Gaming get through the backdoor protection though? They're going to try. A Sun Divine. No, they got the Invisible Blade initiation on Maureen. And Maureen dead for 2 minutes. Maybe it doesn't matter how much time you buy Ame. He seems to be eternal at this point in time. 11, 1, and 10. He will stand here as long as it is needed to finish out this game.
Or take the easier road, go get that bottom lane in. Free up that last Rax. You're looking at Megas very shortly here. They know that's a dieback on this Ember.
A butterfly coming in for him. All right.
All on ATF here. Refresher delivered for the Pango. Does have the 25 talent. He has got to get in here and do some serious damage in the fight.
Falcons, they did their shenanigans, but the backdoor protection is going to go down again unless they can jump the Ursa now and kill him. This is going to be Megas. try and get something out of it.
Gotta go.
Even a BKB, there goes the Rolling Thunder, there goes Team Ratio with a BKB turnaround. Skeeter, he's got to run, but he's pushed back in by the Sonic Wave into the claws of the bear. He will be pulverized. A hit in for the Rolling Thunder, but XM, he's still at Eon to be able to work with. A shot coming in. Jin Q, not even required. Ame is all the damage you need at this point for Extreme Gaming to close out the game, and they will take the lead in the series of the TI Finals.
A confident Game 1 victory, to say the least. These guys were feeling themselves. Felt like that entire game, even in that laning phase, which is supposed to be Falcon's strength in this matchup, they won that top lane in dominant faction. Ame was getting kills bottom with an Ursa, not something you see in that laning phase all the time. They weathered that storm mid with the Ember and then just diced that pickup. So much control from Malrine in this fight, it felt like he did not exist in that mid lane.
No, he certainly didn't. And there is a lot to go over. It's a best of 5 in these finals, and the back and forth of the drafting, it's going to be a hard battle to commence.
And we'll see who wins that battle later down the line. Well, the first step has been made by Extreme Gaming. They take that first one of the best of 5 and are in a strong position to move forward in this series. How did they get to this point? That's why we got the experts to talk about it. Tigov, Effie, and Kezu. This game started fairly slow, Kezu.
No, it did, but one thing that surprised me quite a bit was how hard XG won their lanes. This usually doesn't happen when you play against Falcons. They're very good with like the lane swap, and they did do that again. They put the engine in the offlane. Crit on the Snapfire in the safe, and honestly, it had a very big impact on this game. Crit didn't have a good time there. He got a very late level 6. Jinkyu got a very early earn as well on his Hoodwink. Went around, got a lot of stuff done. So to me, then the mid game slowed down. But yeah, overall, XG, I really feel like they brought their absolute A game to this game 1.
I think they identified the fact that Malrine needs to be shut down. When you look at Malrine's performances so far throughout TI, at the 20-minute mark, he's only ever had like 4 deaths, 3 deaths, but this time, yeah, he has 3 deaths as well. His second most deaths so far. Often it's like 1 or 2. Like, he's having such a good tournament, but XG, they identified Malrine, they killed him 3 times by the 20-minute mark, and they truly shut him down.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. He is the rock of this team. They play this early game off of the shoulders of Malrine's timing, off of his tempo, and he could have recreated that game. Extreme Gaming came to win today. They played with such confidence in these lanes. Falcons are a team we're used to seeing win these side lanes, not blunder, not feed, ready for every power rune, ready for every wisdom rune rotation. Usually they're the team bringing 3 heroes to the wisdom shrines, but guess what? They gave up both wisdom shrines this game. Their Sapphire did not have level 6 for a very long time because of that, and they didn't have the damage that they usually need to get their first few pickoffs.
There were also like so many clips that we can see here too. They're about so many small things. The way XG earlier like bursted Malrine, Atos, Hex, Stunlock, you go this, then you go on X and he disassembles his A on this. It proxy gets loaded by someone else. And then you have a Bushwhack to like save him onwards and onwards. And there's so many things. The Falcons too, like snaking countless times. He lives because he goes in front. He has the right itemization. He uses himself. He delays. But the longer the game goes, at least until Falcons have like 6 slot on Ember and Pango, this Ame Ursa, he just eats you alive.
Especially later in the game when what they had to do on Falcons was to play the map, push these side lanes out. How do you do that when this Ursa has a Blink Abyssal Blade so early into the game? We'd see a hero show top, instantly get Abyssaled. If you're an Ember, you have to Remnant out. If you're a Pango, you have to just roll away. There wasn't a means for you to control the map after that initial aggression from Extreme Gaming.
No, I feel like a lot of the theme of this grand finals would be who can XG just stabilize the early game to get themselves to this team fight excellence, right? Ame being 31-11, like the fight selection that he has is incredible. The execution of the spells from XSS, impeccable. X-Nova, the vision from his spirit and just opening up the fights. Like, everything XG does is based on the mid-game timing. So I'm really looking for the future of this series. How can Falcons try and change up that pacing, not allow them to kind of cruise control to the point where they are happy to take any fight?
And XXS on this Mars, like, we saw it. It was in first pick Mars.
Yep.
They heavily prioritized his hero in this draft, and I would love to see that be recreated in the next game. They didn't even care what kind of matchup they would get, so long as he had a means to take these fights for them, and that he did. He was always finding the key targets in that mid lane fight. They got the kill on Ember. It just made it easy for Ame to come in, clean up, and get his net worth up because of that.
Yeah, and you pointed out, it was an overall first pick Mars, and it makes me wonder, I think there's been a lot of TI finals that have like one hero that the series kind of starts revolving around. Could that be the Mars in this case, or will it just be banned from here on out? Because that is also an option.
It could absolutely be Mars. I'm going to expect the same thing in Game 2. It's going to be first picked or it's going to be banned. It's already been the hero of a lot of games, and it's going to continue, I think, to be that way. But I want to show a lot of things that also happened that allowed XG to like even get to this stage. They don't have the BKB yet on Ame. They need time. So they go ahead of him. They smoke ahead to make sure they're around the Roche pit and allow him to farm. But look at this top-level D-warding from both teams here. You have X-Nova. They protect their triangle. Falcons are like, okay, the game is about Roche. They de-ward them again. Now, because this de-ward happened, Extreme, they ping on the minimap. They're like, yo, they must have seen me place this ward, so I'm now going to go de-ward your ward that is on the lane too. And these are the small things that actually, first of all, allow this game to delay. This is 26 minutes. Roshan hasn't died yet. 28 minutes, you have another Roche off. You have a fourth D-ward coming out from the teams against each other. And in the ultimate last clip, this is now 30-30. Look at the minimap. Ame is now down bottom, so is Roshan. He's had enough. He uses the Fog of War to blink into the pit before Falcons are ready. And this is like 4 to 5 minutes of small macro gameplay that allowed them to take the very first ages of the game. And this is really what then started a bloodbath.
Yeah, up until that point, it kind of felt like the game could have been going either team's way, but vision is incredibly important.
No, it is so critical. And then when you see the dewarding happening from, Kezu's clips, there's another moment in the game where they set up the map in such a beautiful way that they are able to smoke for 1 whole minute and Falcons have no information. Often when you're off map for about a minute, you're going to be identified. But you see here, Crit, he's drawing on the minimap. He's like, guys, they're on the top side. They're even using a scam. But look at the creep waves. Top's hitting the top tier tower for Falcons. Mid is getting shoved in. But XG, able to utilize the vision that they place, and there is just no good wards on the map for Falcons to truly understand. One's on the bot side, one's on the top rune. Like the map is getting choked out from the vision game, and when you get to play a slow game, vision is critical. All it takes in Dota is one jump to unlock the next big objective, be it Roshan, tier 2, high ground, and XG played it flawlessly in the mid game.
Yeah, and why was this a slow game? Because after the draft was done, I was told, Effie, that Falcons was going to have a very scary early game. And in my head, scary kind of coincides with maybe being active and aggressive, but it didn't turn out that way at all.
Well, they lost their lanes really hard. They were bleeding kills like left and right. They couldn't really set up for power runes the way that they are. They couldn't get their wisdom shrines early on, and naturally they're just going to slow down because of that. They hit their tempo based off of how well they played their first 10 minutes, and XG had their number in this one. They were going to play slow because they were just waiting for their Ursa's BKB timing, but after that, even though there weren't a lot of kills, they were playing quickly on the map on Extreme Gaming. They were ready to just jump any target that showed on the side lanes.
Yeah, the early game definitely did not have as much action as maybe we thought initially, but that's okay. And the action that was there was very mechanically skilled, isn't that right, Purge?
That's right. Those early game fights after you lose your towers are so important because they beat back your opponents or stop them from taking more ground. So that's why this fight was so important at the 18-minute mark for Extreme Gaming here. They've got Blink Dagger on the Mars. They're able to jump and spear back Mallory into the tower, and they throw all of their damage into him, basically, almost all of their ultimates. But killing him is important because he's the one that's going to be disabling, staying alive, and stopping their heroes from blinking around. So really good teamfight disruption from the Pangolier. And eventually, with this great hoof stomp that happened here, it basically wrong tool. It sets up a very good stomp and very good arena, which looks like a great opportunity. But Skitter jumps in, and something I want you to look at is look at how much armor he's got here. He's got 8-8 right now. I'm going to do the zoom in one. But as soon as he gets close to the Elder Titan X Nova, this armor number drops down to 0. And this is the exact moment that Ame jumps in with his Battle Fury. And if you take a look over here as well, he forgot to use Warcry, or he chose not to because he needed to jump in immediately to save his teammates. And as a result, he's got -8 armor because of his Mask of Madness, which is why he died so stupidly fast. I mean, they even used the Pavis here to give him some HP, but it doesn't really matter if you got -8 armor. So this was a really sick read by Extreme Gaming to recognize, oh, we're down 2 heroes, but we can still blow you up right now. So they took that opportunity, won that team fight, and that really helped ensure that that laning stage disadvantage that Falcons had didn't get any stronger.
Yeah, very well put there indeed. And of course, both teams are looking forward to seeing what might change in that game number 2. Maybe different pick order, different heroes, definitely as well.